Hello and welcome to Swipe. You know how it is. You wait ages for a new game console to come along and then two arrive at once. The excitement has been building for a while and now the Xbox One is going head to head with the PlayStation 4. Both promise a lot, but do they actually deliver? Well, the only way to know is to play them, so Sky's Katie Spencer assembled her very own gaming A-team to test them out.
The next generation of gaming promises to be faster, more powerful, technology to excite. With Microsoft's Xbox One going head-to-head with arch-rival Sony's PS4, gamers face a tough choice.
But which next-generation console has the edge? Well, in case you're having trouble figuring out, we brought in our gaming big guns. Say hello, team. They're going to go in now and figure out what the PS4 has to offer.
Inside PlayStation's London headquarters, ahead of its UK release, we were lucky enough to get a special preview of their next-gen console.
My name's Ross Thompson. I've been in the games industry for the last 19 years, and I currently work for Game. I think they made huge improvements. The PS3 has gone through about 3 different renditions of how it looks and how it feels from a console point of view. If you look at the controller just as a starting point, it's so much better than the DualShock 3. I've never been a fan of the DualShock 3, and to hold the DualShock 4, it's so much easier and more comfortable to play the games. They've added new features like a touchpad on the top of the controller, so that's going to be interesting as to how they use that.
I'm Lucy James. I'm a writer and presenter for Jinx TV and a lifelong gamer. With the launch lineup for the PlayStation, they had an incredible E3 conference. They showed off a lot of exciting titles, but I suppose just due to development time and cost, a lot of those have been pushed back, and so at the minute they're relying on a lot of smaller indie titles. So it's not the strongest lineup. You might have to wait a little bit, but there are those exciting titles that are coming later on down the line.
I'm Guy Cocker. I'm a video game expert and broadcaster and an expert for BAFTA on the gaming side. I think that what gets me really excited about this particular console is the fact that Sony has worked with independent developers. It seems at launch to have the best version of multi-platform games because it seems as though that hardware is more powerful than it is in the Xbox One. And that's what, as a hardcore gamer, gets me really excited. I know that the best games that are coming out across a variety of platforms are probably going to be on PlayStation 4.
Xbox now?
Yeah, definitely.
So is it game over already? Well, not quite. A short taxi ride across town, and at a top-secret address, it was time to try out Microsoft's offering.
I really like the Xbox One. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, actually, but it's a very nice-looking console. The triggers are really cool now. They have the little thing called impulse triggers, so if you're playing like Forza and you accelerate, you can feel each individual trigger vibrate, which is quite cool. It gives you a little bit more feedback, really immerses you into that game-playing experience.
They've got a few new features, and one of them, there used to be a start and a back button. These have now been removed, and you now have a menu button and a view button. What they're saying they're going to do is quite similar to what the start and the back does, but I think what it's doing is it's opening up the world too, because it's next generation, other features that they maybe haven't actually announced yet.
I think the key piece of technology that differentiates the Xbox One is the Kinect sensor. The technology in there it's set up for the future. It does some really advanced stuff, such as quite scary, kind of like skin palpitations to sense your heartbeat and also reading your emotions. And I think that as someone who speaks regularly to games developers, I think that game developers can do really interesting things with that, like read your emotion and then maybe adapt the game to how well you're reacting to certain characters.
Regardless of who wins the clash of the consoles, for gamers this marks a significant gear change. It isn't just exciting because of the technology we get to see now. This is exciting as gamers know it's just a taste of what's to come. Katie Spencer, Sky News.
Here are a couple of other big tech stories you might have missed over the last few days. A clearly emotional Bill Gates has spoken about Microsoft's search for its next CEO. Speaking at the company's annual shareholder meeting, he came close to tears when talking about Steve Ballmer's successor.
We share a commitment that Microsoft will succeed as a company that makes the world a better place. So thank you for your support.
Censorship around the world could end in a decade. That's what Google boss Eric Schmidt has predicted in a lecture at Johns Hopkins University. He said the use of encryption will help people overcome surveillance by governments. Well, that's your lot for this week. Remember, you can catch up with the breaking tech stories all week on Sky News for iPad, our smartphone apps and skynews.com. We'll see you next time.